All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. We got some big news that happened over the last few days. We had the president coming out saying he was going to pause the tariffs on Europe. So it's looking more and more likely like Europe and the US are going to get a trade deal done, and that is causing some optimism in markets. If we take a look at the nasdaq here, here's the NQ. Let me pull this a little bit closer here. I got to readjust my stream. We did Jerome Powell on Sunday, and so we got to kind of readjust. Here's the NQ. Now it just kind of fell underneath the 200 exponential. So you can see the NQ dip here. We do have some news at the top of the screen if you want to check this news out. Basically what's going on today is the European Union has agreed to fast-track discussions with the U.S. focusing on sectors like semiconductors and automobiles. This follows the president's tariff postponement and aims to prevent further economic strain. We also have Japan viewing the U.S. tariff threats as significant risk to the economy, prompting emergency measures to stabilize energy prices and mitigate potential impacts. Today we have durable goods coming out. We'll cover that at 8:30. We got some Federal Reserve researchers are actively assessing the economic implications of the recent tariff announcement, indicating a proactive approach to potential market disruptions. This week we got Nvidia earnings, the Fed minutes report. Today we have PDD, AutoZone, Bank of Nova Scotia earnings, and global markets. Japan is in focus with their economic measures, and yeah, that is the market so far this morning. Yeah, I don't think we got CPI today. Unless we have durable goods at 8:30 today. We got French CPI. We got the Case-Shiller House Price Index, CB Consumer Confidence. We've got durable good orders at 8:30. Case-Shiller House Price Index at 9. CB Consumer Confidence at 10. At 11:30, we got the Atlanta Fed GDP. We got Williams speaking a little bit later. Tomorrow's the big day, though. Tomorrow's Nvidia earnings, Fed minutes report. I hope hopefully you guys had a good weekend. No, CPI is not this week. It's CPI is never at the end of the month. CPI is almost always the first 2 weeks of the month. And so for today's CPI, or for this next CPI report, we got PCE on Friday. So we got it's the Fed's preferred inflation metric over CPI. So it's honestly a little bit more important than CPI, although retail watches CPI the most. Next week, on the other hand, though, we've got JOLTS. We've got ISM manufacturing, we got JOLTS, we got non-farm employment, we got ISM services, we got jobless claims, we got non-farm payrolls, unemployment. So next week's busy, this week's very busy. So we got a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of stuff to cover. Yep. All right, let's do a poll here, guys. Let's ask, will the optimism hold up? With the market closing green this week. And let me think about. I got to think of a better way to phrase this. Let's do a different question. Will the FOMC cut rates by... Let me check it. Take a look deeper into this. So will the FOMC cut rates, I'm going to say by July. At this point in time, it's looking like September, but it's possible we cut rates by July. Yes or no? Will the FOMC cut rates by July? We're going to make the poll a little bit different today. So why does Forex Factory have a red folder that says CPI? I don't know. It's wrong. Yeah, Forex Factory's wrong. CPI, just to track it, I can tell you when CPI is going to be. CPI is going to probably be, it's always the first 2 weeks of the month. So I know right away it's not going to be, it's going to be in 3 weeks from now, I think. Like, we had CPI recently. I covered it. So the CPI report is going to be Wednesday, June 11th. I can see it now. So Wednesday, June 11th is when CPI month over month is going to be, followed by PPI inflation data on Thursday, June 12th. Okay. This week we have PCE inflation on Friday. Yeah, I see Friday, May 30th, we have German prelim CPI. You know, we got Japan CPI on Thursday, but we don't have US CPI is not for another 3 weeks, as I said. Yeah, I mean, it's looking like we're going to cut in September. The reason I'm asking this, though, is because these things are subject to change. Like, take a look at bond yields take a look at bond yields this morning. Bond yields are down since this European announcement regarding, you know, they want to get a trade deal done. Bond yields are down. If we take a look at a 5-day chart I'll put up, you can see the decrease that we've seen in bond yields just over the weekend, really. Since like the 23rd, we've seen a noticeable decline in bond yields, down from 4.5 to 4.46%. So bond yields are down, meaning people are buying up a little bit of bonds. We'll see what happens, but yeah. And again, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. We actually got a pretty decent amount of people here for a Sunday for Jerome Powell. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much, man. We streamed on a Sunday. It was kind of boring. I took yesterday off. Did anybody trade yesterday? Did anybody trade yesterday? It looked pretty boring, man. Stock market's closed. Bonds closed. Yeah, bonds didn't open up until late yesterday. No. Traded a little. Market was closed. I mean, the market wasn't completely closed. Futures were open, though. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we were asking people if they traded futures yesterday. Futures were open. I didn't trade, but yeah. I did and learned a costly lesson. Yeah, I mean, volatility is good, you know. The risk is no volatility on days like that. I'll put a timer up because we do have some economic data coming out today. We got durable good orders. That might move stuff. We'll see. All right, so yeah, we got our timer up here. It's ready. Can y'all see it? No, not yet. There we go. There's the timer. Yeah, I was looking at Bitcoin yesterday too. All right, but yeah. Ooh. Stocks are up over 1% today. President's decision to postpone a 50% tariff on EU imports until July 9th is the new date. It alleviated a lot of trade tensions that tanked the markets last week. If you remember the markets last week, it alleviated a lot of tension there. Indices mostly currently up. Like if we take a look at the nasdaq here, it's slightly green on the day. We take a look at the S&P 500 or the SPY, it's slightly green on the day. Take a look at gold up here. Gold is down, signaling strength in other markets. We can take a look at oil this morning, crude oil. And oil is slightly up today, slightly up. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's up a little bit. So that's good. Again, bond yields, as we said already, they are down a little bit from Friday, signaling some more optimism in markets, I guess. But it's hard to, like, you know, bond yields going down means people are buying them up, bonds up. So maybe going to some risk off assets. Yeah, I mean, NFL guy, you're already, everything you're saying is in all caps kind of toxic. We're going to put you in timeout for 5 minutes. Calm down, bro. No need to argue about literally everything. Seems like a character flaw, sir. Calm down. Bullish on MicroStrategy. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin at 109s, right? For Bitcoin? Let me see. Bitcoin at basically 110s right now for Bitcoin futures. We'll see if we look at it. Actual Bitcoin prices currently at 109.5K, give or take. So Bitcoin sitting close to all-time highs. Not quite over them, of course, which are right around all-time highs for Bitcoin. Currently just under 112s. It's currently at 109.5s right now. So sitting pretty close to all-time highs. Apple sit at 198s, still under 200s. You can see Nvidia here, Palantir up here. Palantir still testing 130. Nvidia over 134s, sitting nice. We can look at Apple here. Apple at 198.50s, doing pretty good. June 30th, MicroStrategy may file to go into the SPY. You think so? I don't know, man. I think maybe. MicroStrategy going into the SPY would be a different move for sure. I'd support it though, but we'll see. Well, quantum stocks keep ripping. Yeah, we did have some news this morning regarding, I think it was a quantum stock. Let me see. I think this is a quantum stock. It says Q. If that's not a quantum stock, what is? Wins $41 million order from U.S. Army. So their subsidiary won a $41 million order to support the U.S. Army in a counter-drone project. It's a London-listed group said Tuesday that it will provide the U.S. Army with technical and software engineering expertise to advance counter-drone capabilities across fixed installations, vehicles, and mobile development systems. We also had E2 Open shares surge after WiseTech Global agrees to an acquisition. You get markets mostly up today after, the president pausing the EU tariffs. QBTS. One of the big quantum stocks. They've had crazy runs, man. I mean, this thing was at 650s at the beginning of May. It's currently at 20. So in less than a month, it's gone up, hundreds of percent. SMR. Yeah, so I heard a bunch of nuclear stocks are running too. D-Wave has sold one of their machines in over 4 years, and that one to a research institute that collects novel tech. D-Wave's valuation is absurd. Yeah, I mean, D-Wave. This is the main quantum stock that people bring up, though. really looks like the president is messing with Wall Street. I don't know. I think he threatened the EU just to kind of get him moving in this trade deal. You know, I think he might have planned this all along where he knew the market would fall, and then if he paused it, he knew the market would go up, to be honest. But who knows, man. We got durable good orders today. Durable good orders. Minus 7.8%. Yeah. So the big news today is durable goods. We've got durable good orders. They're expected at minus 7.8%. Minus 7.8%. If you don't know what durable good orders are, they're kind of what they sound like. They're non-perishable products. Orders for products is what they are. So they're non-perishable products. To give you the textbook definition, long-lasting manufacturing goods, including transportation stuff. But essentially, like, a higher reading here is signs of economic growth. A weaker reading here is signs of economic weakness. These are just like orders, like business orders that go through that are not food products, mostly not perishables. And that's at 8:30. I don't know how much this will move markets, but we're gonna cover it, of course, like we always do. We're also gonna cover the Case-Shiller House Price Index at 4.5% for the Case-Shiller House Price Index. CB Consumer Confidence at 87s. Yeah, Rigetti. Yeah, I know I've heard a lot about Rigetti recently in terms of quantum stocks too. Yeah, I mean, the person that I banned, whomever he is getting upset. The easiest way to put it is, like, if the first two comments I've ever seen from you are kind of antagonistic, where you're like arguing or like poking buttons, you know, you're just gonna get banned pretty quick here. Like, we want to make sure anybody that joins this community is like genuinely like welcoming and good, and if somebody just needs to like confrontation, like they start arguing with like little nuances, I can say the spy's up some today, and then if he gets mad about that, he's just trying to find things. He's probably some other guy that we've banned before that's trying to start stuff. I probably shouldn't even bring it up. I usually try not to even like say anything about it, but just don't even respond. Like, just kind of stonewall people like that. Unnecessary to even engage with them. Yeah, good day to him, sir. Yeah, it's just long-lasting manufacturing goods is what durable good orders are. The NASDAQ is now back under here, though. So, look, here is... We'll put the NASDAQ back up here. Here's the NQ. The NQ dipped under this 200 exponential level, and now it's right at this spot. Now, I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. Here's the 200 EMA. We'll see if it holds. Should I change my stream? I guess I should, to durable goods orders somehow. So yeah, we're testing this 200 exponential here. All right, so Tesla bull Gary Black is weighing in as Elon's giant logs, or as Elon and Tesla logs over 11,000 new registrations for the second straight week. They're saying Tesla continues to showcase growth overseas in China. Their domestic market, steady numbers of new weekly orders is what they're saying came in. Insurance registrations for the past 2 weeks. Over 11,000 new insured registrations in the market over there in China for last week ending May 25th. So, let's see where Tesla's at this morning. Tesla's at the top of the range, but has basically been sideways for the last week. So we will see what happens there. Yeah, Nvidia. Nvidia earnings tomorrow. Volkswagen diesel deception ends in prison time for 4 former executives. Really? So 4 former executives with Volkswagen received prison sentences on Monday for orchestrating a emissions cheating scandal that cost the automaker over $30 billion in fines and accelerated the industry's shift towards EV. Yeah, so a German court convicted multiple high-ranking managers after a 3-year trial examining their roles and installing software that manipulated diesel emissions. Interesting. Yeah, Volkswagen's been getting involved with Volkswagen. What is their brand? What is their? Isn't it? What is it? It is. It's not Lucid. It is Polestar. It's Volkswagen. PSNY is what they are. And yeah, they've been struggling recently too. Polestar. Bad time here. Yeah, it seems like some of these trolls are all the same person, man. I feel for them. I really do. Like, it, you know, I really do feel for them. Nvidia earnings tomorrow. Yeah, Rivian's okay. I would say it goes like Tesla, obviously at the top of EV. Rivian second. And we're talking about like legacy automobile brands. They're going to have a different edge over others, including Tesla, because they are standalone automobile makers. So like they can get involved with EV easier, and if it doesn't work, they can pivot back to their normal stuff, right? So they're a little bit more, I would say, protected in the space versus up and coming ones like Lucid or NKLA or Mullen or, you know, others like that. I think they're going to have a lot harder time succeeding. These standalone EV makers, they're going to have a lot harder time making it as companies, just because a lot of these guys, they got to compete with everybody else, and just a lot of these businesses are going to fail. We said this about Mullen. Mullen is basically over as a company. It's going to go bankrupt sometime soon, most likely. We said this about a Lucid. I kind of like Lucid vehicles, and it's okay, but it's definitely not doing well, I would say, either. Yeah, Nvidia earnings tomorrow are very interesting. We're going to stream the whole thing live. We also have the Fed minutes report tomorrow as well. So we got a lot of stuff, honestly, to cover. Yeah, we got durable good orders. At 8:30, so we have 48 minutes until those durable goods orders. Let me schedule the stream for this. All right. Yeah, so sorry, I got to schedule the stream for the durable good orders. Bitcoin pulling back with everything else. We did reject a little bit here on this 200 exponential. I'm going to draw some levels in a second. $350. We got this confirmation here. I could say it was 3. Here's 300 right here, I guess. There's 3s. And then underneath this here, we got this double bottom right here, like 275, 280. And so I'm going to look at these 4 levels on my charts right here, see if they move stuff. I have both. I have long-term holdings and I day trade as well. We do a little bit of everything. So, yeah, I'm going to put up micros actually and try to get these same levels on my charts. So what do we have one? We had one at 310 right here. We had another one at 300. We had another one at 75. And then we had another one up here at like 350. Yeah, so those are the levels. I might short this a little bit and see what happens on a challenge account here. And just to see what kind of happens here. We're going to short into this 1 micro so far. And then maybe add a little bit to it, take 2 or 3. See if we can get a surge back down. I wouldn't mind a drop to 300s and just build up a little bit of cushion. We're right there at the 200 EMA. We got this resistance at 310 that we can use as a risk. Yeah, we got 45 minutes until durable goods. I don't know how much they're gonna move stuff. We got the Case-Shiller as well, though. Who's competing with Tesla and American? Nobody. I think Tesla's at the top, basically, for EVs. I think the only problem is that Elon is getting way too politically outspoken, and I think that's not a good thing if you want to sell things to consumers. I think the people are pretty split down the middle politically, and so if you get really one-sided politically, you know, half the population's not going to buy your stuff. Now, maybe the other side keeps up with it and justifies it, but still. All right, so we're good. We're going to cover one here. We'll cover most of this, and then we'll hold the last little piece here. We did get the rejection right there. Yeah, we could probably cover the rest right down here. Build up a little cushion on the day. And, yeah. See what happens on this. Oh yeah, that comment's definitely gonna get banned, Clinton. Yeah, it was too much. Yeah, nah. It's all love, but no. We gotta delete it. Can't do it. Alright, so we're bouncing right here at this 300 level, confirming it. Let's see if we get back over the 200 exponential at 307s. Yeah, just running a channel, I just have to protect it from too controversial stuff, and that definitely falls in that category. Sorry, bro. When Tesla robots come out, I'm for sure getting on, tired of picking up. Yeah. We'll see if they're that good. I want a Bicentennial Man friend like Robin Williams is what I want. It's an old movie, so maybe there's a different standard of robot movie to compare it to. But yeah. How would the market hold up for what, Demetrius? What's up, bro? All right, guys, we got 45 minutes before durable good orders hit. Tomorrow, we got a lot of stuff, too. We got CB consumer confidence at 10 a.m. as well. We got jobless claims unemployment tomorrow, Thursday, GDP Thursday, pending home sales Thursday, PCE inflation Friday, Michigan consumer sentiment Friday, Chicago PMI Friday. We got Fed minutes, NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. We got all kind of stuff today. So yeah, Sam. I mean, listen, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious, is all I'm saying. All right, so we're pushing up here. We're almost up to 310s, rejecting. Look at that rejection right there at 310s. So that confirms the level for sure. We got a couple levels that we're using in these, but we're kind of chopping sideways as of now here. And again, the big news we got this morning, guys, we covered it a lot. Bond yields are down because of people are buying up bonds this morning. Most of this is due to the president pausing. He postponed 50% tariff on EU imports until July 9th. So we got some time here to get a deal done with Europe. It has alleviated trade tensions to some extent and boosted investor confidence. The S&P, the nasdaq, the Dow are all up today. European Union has agreed to fast-track discussions with the U.S. focusing on sectors like semiconductors, automobiles. It follows this postponement of the tariff thing by the president, and it aims to prevent further economic strain. There's another news story I want to cover. I want to confirm it real quick, so give me a second. I heard about this over the weekend. Okay, so yeah, Japanese government bond yields have experienced huge spikes over the past week, reaching levels that have not been seen in decades. On May 20th, the 30-year JGB yield reached an all-time high of 3.185%. The 40-year got up to almost 3.7%, the highest on record. The 20-year also peaked at 2.31%, marking its highest level since 2000. A recent 20-year bond auction witnessed the lowest demand in over a decade, with a bid-to-cover ratio at its weakest since 2012 and the widest tail since 87, indicating investor reluctance. The Bank of Japan has been gradually tightening monetary policy, having ended its negative interest rate policy and yield curve measures. It has been contributed to rising yields, and as the Bank of Japan reduces its bond purchases. In response to the yields spiking up over the last couple weeks, the Japan's Minister of Finance is considering reducing the issuance of long-term bonds, 20 and 40-year, while maintaining overall debt issuance levels by increasing shorter-term demand sales. All right, look at the market fall down. Let me make sure there's no big news coming out. Hold on, let me make sure. Give me a second. Biogen and City Therapeutics announced a research collaboration to develop some stuff. IMF expects the Bank of England to cut interest rates by 25 basis points once quarterly until they reach about 3%. Salesforce nears $8 billion deal for Informatica. INFA symbol for $25 a share. Deal to be announced today sometime, according to the Wall Street Journal. But anyways, the MOF has taken the unusual step of consulting with primary dealers and market participants. Going back to Japanese bond market, the MOF has taken unusual steps of consulting with primary dealers and market participants to assess demand and gather opinions on bond issuance strategy, signaling a proactive approach. The rise in these JGB yields may prompt Japanese investors to repatriate funds from foreign assets such as U.S. Treasuries, potentially leading to higher global bond yields and impacting international financial markets. So people are essentially worried there. So there's something that called the carry trade dynamic of Japanese bonds, where the Bank of Japan typically has like a low interest rate. I kind of want to short this. Hold on. Okay, we're going to short it a little bit. Just small. We'll add. So there's something called the carry trade dynamic of Japanese bonds. Essentially, people buy U.S. assets with Japanese bonds because they get low interest rates from it. So they're very known to give you low interest rates. And so people will take the Japanese yen, and they'll buy up a bunch of U.S. financial assets with it. And so something that happens when the Bank of Japan has worse interest rates, meaning the yen has less edge in investing because of higher interest rates, people will sell off U.S. positions, and this can consequently cause sell-offs in U.S. stocks and bonds. And so this is something a lot of people worry about. But yeah, this is something that happens. We had a big drop in markets from the yen carry stuff that happened a couple months ago, or I don't know how long ago it was. I'll have to check it. I think it was late last year, actually. But this is a known dynamic of stuff that goes on regarding the Japanese yen. And so if yields have been spiking, people are theorizing we might get some sell-offs in U.S. markets because of it. Although, again, the U.S.-Europe trade deal thing has kind of caused some interest. All right, so if we go back break even, we'll cut some of this here. I'm going to go ahead and cut like a piece of this. Yeah, there we go. We only have 2 contracts now. I just want to be really risk averse with this. I see if we get a breakdown here, which we kind of are now, which is good. But I have to be a little wary, I should say. All right, that's better. All right, we'll cover half there. And we'll let the rest slide. Yeah, and see, we creeped all the way back up. I'll give it a second to come back down, but yeah, we're just going to cut it. So we got out mostly flat there, to be honest. Could be worse, but... yeah, let's see if we could look at... yeah, so here was the last rate decision by the Bank of Japan. You can see Japanese yields, how they've been kind of creeping up. And so we'll see what happens, but yeah. So now we're coming back down. I might jump right back in it, but I'll wait. We'll see if we reject this level here. We're going to jump in flat. I was hoping we would reject the level, but it's all right. Yeah, we're still green on the day just to show you, but less green now. We'll put our funded account up here. That's what we're going to do. See if we get any good pressure on the downside. Yeah, I'm using multiple screens. I got 3 different screens. 2 really, but yeah. We're definitely using multiple screens. We seem to be running into some resistance at that 200 exponential. And this is our actual funded account that we have up. Again, we got durable good orders in like 35 minutes, give or take. So we got a little bit of time. Yeah, we had DoorDash announce its proposed offering of some stuff. So DoorDash coming out with an offering. $2 billion of convertible senior notes for DoorDash here. All right, so look, we're hitting the 200 exponential again. Look at that rejection right there, the 200 EMA. Regarding EU, Sure, the U.S. has deficit, but Amazon, Google, Microsoft are massive in Europe. Yeah, durable goods are expected to decrease, though. So, like, durable goods are expected today at minus 7.6. This is relative to the last time they showed up at a positive 9.2%. So they are expecting to decrease heavily relative to where they were at 7.6%. 7.6% is what they're at. And we still got 30 minutes until this data comes out. But yeah, that's basically what's going on. And again, looking at our rate odds this morning, this has gotten less likely that we're going to cut in June next month. So again, at this point in time, it's only about a 2% likelihood of a cut in June, which means that we're essentially not going to do it. Not unless this drastically changes from now to then. It's looking pretty improbable that we're going to cut rates in June. Yields are down a little bit. Shows a lower interest rate sentiment, but I don't think it's going to be in June. Look, if we get PCE on Friday spike, it's going to be less likely that we're going to cut rates. If we get PCE come down and look good, like lower than expected, that might increase the odds of a cut a little bit. If we get GDP that shows up weak, that might increase the odds of a cut a little bit. Like if we get weak economics and price stability, we might get updated odds for rate cuts. It's still pretty improbable that we're going to cut next month, though, just to clarify. It's looking now September, maybe July if we get bad economic data and good inflation data. Tariffs could affect it. With everything going on, it's looking more likely that we're going to have price stability. So it just depends. Oh, dude, my throat hurts. I trained yesterday, and somebody put me in a bow and arrow choke. Ugh. Feels like you got strep throat for a day afterwards. But yeah, durable goods expected minus 7. What was it? Let me see. Minus 7.6%. Not really any news dropping today. And again, the Bank of Japan interest rate showed up last time at 0.5%. They paused rates for the Bank of Japan. I'm trying to see what they're expected to do next month on the 17th. It's right around ours, too. So, like, ours is on, I believe, the 18th of next month. Let me make sure. Yeah, the next time we're cutting rates, or no, I'm sorry. The next time we're making a rate decision is going to be June 18th. Japan's doing it on the 17th. So that's going to be an interesting couple weeks. All right, look at this big turn in market. Still kind of flat, though, but we are holding under that 200 exponential right here. Still moving a little bit. Remember, guys, not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Can't guarantee anything. As always, not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly. Can't guarantee anything. Understand CFTC 4.41. Don't copy me. With that said, we're breaking down a little bit. We're at 299 now. 21,299. Honestly, it was my black belt coach that did it, K. So, he was gonna beat me. I've only called him once. Like one time have I called him. Although my rounds with him are getting much more competitive. I like using like wrestling style, like cradles, Kesa a lot. You know what I mean? And like, I've gotten better at. I can pass and get to his guard. He's just squirmy. Rate cuts no longer matter. Higher rates equals more inflation to pay off debt. Lower rates means more money for markets to absorb. Either way, money has to be created. The only way I'm not bullish. Yeah, we'll see. It depends on, I think we're going to get trade deals done. I think the market wants trade deals, And I think those are going to positively affect markets if we do. When is going to be a big question about it. I think the market still wants rate cuts, though. I do think the market wants rate cuts. I think they want rate cuts. They want lower interest rates. I think the real estate market's still kind of in shambles in a weird spot. And so I think people want rate cuts, especially with like inflation prices and all the stuff that's happened. Yeah, and I think Jerome Powell, on the other hand, like, he did his speech with Princeton. We streamed it. It wasn't really anything, but we stream all of Jerome Powell just so people know. Salesforce signed a definitive agreement to acquire Informatica. Yeah, so again, in 45 days, Japan's 30-year government bond yields rose 100 basis points, which is 1 full percent, to a record 3.2%. Over 500 billion worth of safe 40-year Japanese government bonds lost 20% in 6 weeks. People are worried about the Japanese bond market. It's certainly one of the dynamics of markets this week and over the last couple. And again, this all leads to our rate decision mid next month and Bank of Japan's rate decision mid next month. I got this hat, but it's catching on my towel-like sweater here. Yeah, I mean, look, I've already said it a million times, and I'll say it again. I'm okay with us going into a mini recession if it means we get price stability. And I know that might not be a popular take. I would rather us get prices under control. I think prices have been crazy for 5 years, and we need price stability. We need a couple break-even years. And I would rather, and the only way we're really going to get that is a little mini recession, like super weak labor market contractions. And so I don't know if we're going to get that. I certainly do not want quantitative easing, economic stimulus. I don't want like desperate rate decisions trying to bring interest rates down. And I don't think we need it either. And I know that might be a controversial take, but that's how I feel. And yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I've seen the stealth QE they've been doing. That's true. I'd rather them not, though. Like, I really would. Like, I'd rather them not. The SOFR rate should have been 4.26%, unchanged from previous day. So I've been thinking about using Starlink. Guys, has anybody ever had any success streaming, like not watching videos, but actually like streaming using Starlink? Like, what are the upload speeds like on Starlink? And what's the ping like? Ask an AI. Chad, help me out. Let me know if it's good. All right, guys. So I'm still watching this 21.3 level. We're slightly underneath it now, but we kind of have like a little flag pattern here. Kind of looks like a bull flag, or a bear flag, I guess I should say. Here's the, yeah. Looks more like a bear flag, I would say, but still, I guess we could short it and risk over 300s. Right, that's what I'm worried about. Like again, for regular internet usage, I don't care. Like I'll probably be fine regardless. But yeah. Yeah, I'm just wondering how it would do for like upload speed, streaming, stuff like that. AI says this: broad coverage, low latencies, adequate upload speeds between 10 and 30, sufficient for 1080p. Although it can deal with service interruptions, drops. Performance can degrade during rain or clouding. 1 terabyte monthly data cap for residential. Exceeding this, man, reduce speeds. I think what I can do is just use a mix of this with something else. I wanted to short this. We've made a little bit of money, but I do want to kind of wait here and see what we get. We got about 800 people here. No, this isn't the connection I'm talking about. Like, I want to go to Vegas, and if the place we're thinking about staying, the internet ain't good. So I'm thinking about buying just like a mobile Starlink package. So Shanghai Futures Exchange releases internationalization paper to public. Proposals cover nickel, tin, gold, silver, and aims to introduce overseas participants and enhance internationalization of the yuan. Yeah, my internet's good right now, guys, just to clarify. All right, guys. Hey, we got 20 minutes until durable goods. 20 minutes. We'll see what we get. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep is what we're trading on today. We got a funded account that we're using right now. We're also switching over to their other... to their new dashboard, which is really nice, really useful. And again, if you want to learn to day trade, do not risk your own tens of thousands of dollars. Almost all day traders lose in the beginning. And so if you put up your own money, let's just be honest, you're probably going to lose. So you can put up your money trying to look cool. The truth is you're probably going to lose. And so it makes no sense to do so. Instead, try TopStep. TopStep, they give you a 50K demo. They test your skill with it. If you could pass the test, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, and they pay out millions. They fund thousands, and you can also get 100K. You can also get 150K challenge, no PDT rule. And if you fail, you're out $50, $100. It's not the end of the world. It's a great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose money. Most day traders lose. It's a great way to learn. And again, I did a payout a couple weeks, like last week with TopStep. Got it very quickly. TopStep's legit, and they pay out hundreds of millions. They fund thousands. If you use my link and go to TopStepX, 0 commission, no PDT rule, and tiny amount of fees per trade. And again, you could day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold. Patterns are very similar to day trading patterns. It just doesn't make any sense to risk your own account. And if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. There's the link right there. They are an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. Some would say I'm the top 3 most biased ever. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Understand CFTC 4.41. Anyways, I should have shorted this little bounce up here. And you can kind of see, like, the system I use is I build a system around levels, the 200 exponential, and trends. Like, I try to attack the recent trend, which I think, like, first step is identifying the trend, which is down. I'm looking at a downward trend. Once I get some respect of the levels that I'm building here, like here's a level, I should have maybe shorted it up there and wrote it down, but that's okay. We also took another trade up here on this retest at this level, wrote it down. We got the 200 exponential about right here. And so we look at milestone levels that I've confirmed multiple times. We try to attack the trend and the range, and we just try to ride it up or down. And it works. It tends to work pretty well. We got 20 minutes until durable good orders. And so, again, just make sure you hit the subscribe. It's for most countries. Just check it out, Justin, and see. How you guys doing? You guys red or green this morning? Let me know. We're green, but not much. But green nonetheless. Green. On the sidelines. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't know how much durable goods are going to do. We also have the Case-Shiller House Price Index later. That might be kind of big. So we'll see. We had some earnings this morning. A lot of misses, honestly. PDD missed, EPS missed revenue. SKY missed EPS, missed revenue. AutoZone missed EPS, beat revenue. Bank of Nova Scotia missed EPS, beat revenue. So a lot of stuff missed, to be honest here, man. Yeah, lots of misses. Still consolidating under that 21.3 level. All right, so we're still consolidating. Watching Tesla, watching Nvidia here as well. Nvidia is still moving markets a lot. We can see Nvidia over the last 30 days. We've basically been in a flat range. Look at how choppy and sideways we've had it for Nvidia over the past like week straight. A little bit over a week. Over the last 2 weeks, we basically, like, we went up and broke that recent high at 137s, but we've basically been rectangular in range since then. Like, this is the range we've been in for Nvidia. Very flat, very boring. You can kind of see Palantir as well has been kind of making some moves. A very similar thing. I think most markets have honestly like shown a very similar thing. Here's the SPY, back since 512. Again, kind of a similar range here. You know, so we've been choppy for a week straight. What I think is good and useful about this, though, is that we have a very identified range. So if we could break underneath that range or over that range, I think it makes sense. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Is GameStop running a little bit? Is it really? Interesting. Yeah, GameStop at 34s. Honestly, this is the highest GameStop's been in a minute, man. I mean, the recent highs in January of 35. So GameStop's testing highs it hasn't seen in like a year. So, I mean, I guess good for GameStop. I guess I support it. I mean, I'm not against GameStop at all. GameStop call options, nice, man. Hey, congrats. Again, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We cover this all live for free. We don't sell a course, don't sell a service. You know, just kind of report on all this stuff for free for you guys. So if you haven't already subscribed, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. We got durable good orders dropping in 15 minutes that we're going to cover live as soon as they drop. So all right, guys, so we're starting to move down to 275. So I'm watching this 275 level on the NASDAQ. NVIDIA pretty flat. Palantir, Apple. Apple had a kind of a tough couple weeks. I guess with the tariff stuff, Apple's going to be one of the ones that's the most widely affected by it. So we did have some stuff come out. So U.S. White House trade advisor Hassett says we will be seeing a few more deals as soon as this week. So this is some breaking news. Again, Hassett saying we're going to see some deals maybe as soon as this week here. Good. Again, White House trade advisor Hassett says we'll be seeing a few deals as soon as this week. Bitcoin still sitting just under 110. Can you hear the music? You want me to turn it up a little bit? Let me know if that's loud. Yeah, they bought Bitcoin. I know they did buy Bitcoin, and Bitcoin almost at all-time highs here too. So that's good. All right, guys, we got 13 minutes. 13 minutes. We're hitting that 275 level. Look, so we're right at that 275 level I've been looking at all morning. Look at that bounce, literally right off of it. Look at that. We tapped it. Look at that. So, Are you guys bullish or bearish this week? I'm curious. Again, we got a lot of stuff that's good and bad, I would say, looming here. I think it's ultimately going to depend on what we get for NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. I think NVIDIA earnings are massive, massive, and they're important, and everybody's going to be tuning into that. Again, join the beginner trading live stream. We cover it live every single time. Bullish, 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 bearish, bearish. Overall bullish. Yeah, I think it's a little bit up in the air, though, to be honest. I think we got NVIDIA earnings, we got Fed minutes, we've got PCE data, we've got GDP data, all coming out over a 3-day period. NVIDIA earnings tomorrow, Fed minutes tomorrow, PCE, or GDP Thursday, PCE Friday, University of Michigan Friday. So I think we got a lot of stuff, to be honest, that come out. And we just got to be careful based off of everything going on. Yeah, I think we just got to be careful. Look at that 275 level we talked about. We bounced directly off of it. I really thought about buying it, but I waited and hesitated, and if I could think of anything that would rhyme with that, I would say it right now, but I can't. But yeah, mostly people are bullish, I'm showing. Are y'all bullish because of NVIDIA earnings? Or, you know, looking at our poll numbers here, I said, will the Fed cut rates by July? 40% say yes. I mean, I tend to disagree with you guys. I don't think the Fed's going to cut rates by July. I think it's going to be later than that based off of what we currently have. But maybe it's possible. Like, again, if we get low inflation data, we get low inflation, inflation's under control, the Fed's going to be a lot more likely to cut rates. Look at that drop, though, guys. Wow. I guess it's a good thing I didn't buy it. We bounced off of it, though. We bounced up, what, almost 10 points exactly at that level. Now we're coming back down. This is why I don't know. I never play the retests, because the retests can just dump. That's a big drop too. Bear with me, pun intended. I still don't understand the value of GameStop as a business in 2025. Well, I think right now it's got shareholder support more than anything, right? Like, I think I don't personally like its business. I think most people don't, if they're being like brutally honest with themselves. They understand people aren't going to be buying physical copies of video games in 5-10 years, and that's bad for GameStop. But I think they have shareholder support, and sometimes that's all you need. And so I think that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, if we get closed trade deals, low inflation, I think the Fed's going to be a lot more likely to cut rates. I also think if we get economic weakness, though, I think if we get like weak GDP data, the Fed's going to be a lot more likely to cut rates. And so it has to do with multiple different things. We need weak economics to justify rate cuts. We need low inflation to justify rate cuts. And we need trade deals that curb inflation worries to justify rate cuts. Right? All those three things is something that we need. And it's possible we get those things over the next few days. I think it's starting this week. We got GDP data. GDP comes in even more negative. Last time it showed up at 0.3%. 0.3%. This week they're expecting GDP to show up at what? Let me see. I didn't even look. It's Thursday. So yeah, this week they're expecting GDP data to show up at minus 0.3%, the same as what it was last time. If this comes in at a more negative number at like minus 0.4, minus 0.5, that's going to increase the odds of rate cuts. It might not increase the odds much, but it's almost certainly going to make it more likely that we're going to cut rates at least a little bit. Doesn't mean it's going to make it probable. Look at this rebound up here, chat. Something happened. Let me see. Whoa. All right, so Hassett said lower tariffs would be for countries with good offers. Tariffs could go to 10% or less for some countries. And so I think this is what Hassett's speaking right now. Hassett's saying that it looks like we're going to get deals done. We'll be seeing a few more deals as soon as this week. Tariffs could go as low as 10%. Lower tariffs would be for countries with good offers. These are all probably what's influencing markets. Again, these are mostly what's moving markets. Hassett coming out saying optimistic things regarding tariffs. We went right up there to that 200 exponential though, and now we're coming back down. I gotta just wait. We got 8 minutes left until durable goods. Yeah, so the move ups are probably related to Hassett speaking, the White House trade advisor. He says we'll be seeing a few more deals as soon as this week. He said tariffs could go as low as 10%. India among deals close to the finish line. Lower tariffs would be for countries with good offers. Tariffs could go to 10% or less for some countries, is the news regarding Hassett, making the market rebound back up. So it looks like we're going to get an India deal done sometime this week, maybe next. That's probably creating some optimism for things. Well, they said India is close, is what they said. All right, guys, 7 minutes left, 7 minutes. All right, guys, 6 minutes. NASDAQ has rebounded a lot on Hassett, speaking about trade deals. Again, most of that stuff over the last 5 minutes came out optimistic regarding trade. Hassett says we might see 10% tariffs or less. India is close to a deal, and that a lot of stuff is going to be dropping this week or next regarding tariff deals. So tariffs could go as low as 10%, would be for countries with good offers. India among deals close to the finish line. So that news rebounded markets short term ahead of durable good orders that drop at about 5.5 minutes, about 5 minutes really. Well, with China, we're pretty close to a deal, I think. We got a 90-day pause, and they're trying to work together, so. Again, we got durable goods in a couple minutes. So we'll see if we get anything good today. But we got durable goods dropping in 4.5 minutes. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. You can also put it in 2x speed to make sure like you're caught up with stuff. But yeah, durable goods orders drop in about 4 minutes, I should say now, to be exact. I can show you guys some of these trades. Like we're down on this trade currently, but we're up about, I'm gonna have to cut it. I'll give it a second here. I can maybe add to this. All right, I'm gonna cut some of these way down here. We're up about $50 on the day, give or take, on this account. I'm not going to hold it through durable goods, though. It's just too risky. There we go. But yeah, I'm not going to hold it through durable goods. It's too risky to do that. I want to see if it breaks down, and we'll cut it break even if we move. Trying to let it work. 3 minutes left until durable good orders, guys. Yeah, we're just going to cut that and wait. It's too close to durable goods. We got into a few trades, but... VIX futures. Yeah, where's the VIX at, man? I know the VIX spiked up last week, got up to 25. It's kind of settled down a little bit based off of everything going on right now. Yeah, VIX futures are currently at 20. So they went down $5 a share. They were at 25s last week. So is it a we're so back kind of day? Well, I mean, it's looking more optimistic. Last week, the news that tanked markets was the European Union. The president said we are getting, quote, nowhere with the European Union. Today, the president, or it was in the last few days, or last like 24, 48 hours, the president came out basically saying we're getting close to a deal, and he postponed the deadline to July 9th now. So the deadline is now pushed back to July 9th, and then we got, you know, that's renewing optimism and stuff this morning for sure. Like that's what's causing renewed optimism. And again, in 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes, in about 2 minutes now, we got durable goods dropping at 8:30. It's expected at minus 7.6%. Chat, minus 7.6%. I don't know how much this is going to move markets. Quad witching is only on Friday. So quad witching day, March 21st, June 20th, September 19th, and December 19th of this year in 2025. So yeah, not tomorrow. Yeah, Apple tariffs tank markets as well. Apple's had a tough time too. All right, Chad, we got about a minute left. Markets are kind of flattening out ahead of this report. Be ready. All right, chat. We got less than a minute. We got about 45 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. We appreciate it. All right, guys, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's the durable goods. Durable goods ended up showing up at minus 6.3%. Minus 6.3%, a little bit better than expected. Core durable goods, 0.2%. So again, minus 6.3% versus minus 7.6% expected. Minus 6.3% versus minus 7.8% expected. Core durable goods showed up at a positive number at 0.2% versus minus 0.1% expected. Again, 0.2% positive versus a minus 0.1% expected. So that is what happened. Markets haven't really reacted though. But yeah, so durable goods showed up kind of nothing here. I mean, it wasn't really a big reaction to this report. You can see some volatility here. We got the Case-Shiller House Price Index coming out live at 9 o'clock. Case-Shiller House Price Index live at 9 o'clock. We'll see if that moves anything. But durable goods, kind of chopping back and forth here. But yeah, durable goods are out. Nothing really. We'll put the data up on screen. All right, look at this rebound back up. A little bit of a delayed response here, so maybe we just covered it early. But again, durable goods, month over month, minus X defense showed up minus 7.5% though. Regular durable goods showed up at 6.3%. Did get a delayed response here though. Here, we'll put this up on screen. CB consumer confidence drops at 10 a.m. Look, here's the durable good orders right there on screen. Look at this rebound back up. Let's see if they... I'm guessing they might have said something regarding trade too. Let me check. I know Hassett's been speaking. But a little bit more optimistic regarding trade and durable goods here. Yeah, consumer confidence might move markets. We'll see. I told people earlier this probably wouldn't move stuff, but we cover all the economic reports at 8:30 regardless. And yeah, guys, listen, if you want to watch us day trade, we day trade live every weekday morning right here. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service. We don't even claim to be good traders. We just kind of cover everything for free without claiming to be experts. And guys, listen, if you want to help support the channel, check out TopStep. TopStep is the best way to learn day trading. Like, learning in a structured environment makes sense. There's no PDT in futures, so you can get around the PDT rule. You don't have to deposit 25 grand like you do in stocks. The patterns are very similar to stocks. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies in some places. No PDT rule. And TopStep is the most prime way to learn. They give you a 50K demo for the base one, a 100K one for the middle one, and a 150K one for the top one. And if you can make the base one, you got to make 3K in profit without losing 2K, a reasonable 3-to-2 ratio. If you could do that following their rules, they fund you 50K, 90% split. If you fail, the base one's $50 a month. So it's limited risk, similar reward to funding your own account with 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K in profit. And if you go to TopStep X, which is their native platform, very useful. They recently opened up API access, and you can do this day trade, learn how to trade in a structured environment without risking too much. And I lost 4 or 5 grand when I first got started, so it's just a cheaper way to learn when most day traders lose. And if you're good enough to pass it, you can withdraw and fund your own account. And so it just makes sense to learn this way. But I'm biased, of course, as I always tell people. There's the link in chat one more time. But yeah, the market popped up to threes again. Look at this level. So we tapped threes. We're kind of in the sideways range between 275 and 3. I'm trying to wait. We got the 200 exponential right around here at 21 threes. So we'll see if that moves things. But gold and silver, I mean, gold has reacted negatively to this report. A little bit stronger economic data means less of need for gold is probably what it is, but it's not too much of a big negative reaction. Bernstein analysts reaffirmed their market performance rating. Yeah, I don't like Pfizer, to be honest. All right, we're up to 21 threes here, 21 threes. Let's see if we get up. There's 310s up there as well. I'm not really super bearish on gold, not long term. I think long term, there's risks, of course. Long term, there's some risks, but it's pretty consistent long term. Bond yield's spiking up a little bit recently. This morning. Gold long term is very consistent and a very good inflation hedge, I would say. And not an investment professional, don't copy me. But gold long term can be good. The problem is that it can downtrend for a long time as well. It's probably going to go up long term, meaning like decades and decades. Gold's going to go up almost certainly. The issue is that short term, over long periods of time, like 5 to 10 years, it can downtrend that entire time. And so you can buy it, get stuck in a 10-year downtrend. You still might make money long term, but over a decade, you could lose money. And so that's the issue with gold. And I think when you look at gold, gold's been going up for a decade straight. Hasn't really downtrended for a decade. And so that's a risky time to buy gold, in my opinion, at all-time highs. But at the same time, just to be completely transparent, I said this when gold was at $2,000 an ounce. And so what the heck do I know? Like, gold has just continued to rip up because of economic weakness. And so, yeah, what do I know? Don't copy me. Definitely not an investment professional with gold, just to be completely real. All right, guys. So, yeah, durable goods are pretty good. Canada April wholesale trade most likely fell 0.9%. So we're looking at that. Yeah, I like crypto as well. Bitcoin obviously is pretty interesting. All right, guys. So again, just to put this into perspective, in 20 minutes, we got the Case-Shiller House Price Index going live. So in 20 minutes at 9 o'clock, we got the Case-Shiller House Price Index. Yeah. So at 9 a.m., we got the Case-Shiller House Price Index. At 10 a.m., we got CB Consumer Confidence data. So that's worthwhile to pay attention to, probably. But it might not be anything, dude, honestly, looking at it. I think I'm just going to keep my current. Title. All right, look at this decrease here. We're still in the range. I don't know if I want to buy this up. It looks weak, but we've been so sideways already today. And I think the sideways nature of markets could continue long-term today. And this is why. NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. This is like the Super Bowl of finance, where it's going to influence broad markets, usually in a big way. You never freaking know, but it could influence markets in a big way. So you just want to be careful, because that happens tomorrow evening. We also got the Fed minutes report tomorrow. We also have GDP data Thursday and PCE data Friday. So we got a whole bunch of reports here. Now this looks bearish though. So we'll see if we get down to 275. Yeah, but gold doesn't always go up just because of economic instability, right? Like if you look at this, gold has gone up. Essentially, if you put a weekly chart up, gold has basically had a straight upward trend in markets since 2016. Almost 10 years. It's been 9 years of upward trends for gold, right? And so, sure, over the last 5 years, the angle has gotten better. But at the same time, gold's been uptrending now for almost a decade. Yeah, what's up, Faye? And in 20 minutes, we got Case-Shiller House Price Index. Again, I don't know how much it's going to move things, but we'll see. All right, so we're right down at 275. I kind of want to buy it, but I'm going to wait. It kind of looks too weak. And it looks like that's the right move based off of this pull down here. Still watching NVIDIA. All right, so the president's saying he could impose new Russia sanctions in the coming days, according to CNN. Look at this decrease in markets here. So we are falling down. So the market is up today after the president backtracked on the European sanctions. The president basically said this morning that he was going to postpone, or not this morning, but I think this was yesterday. He was going to postpone 50% tariff on European imports until July 9th. This was previously, the deadline was previously June, what was it, June 9th? So did he push it back a month? I think it was June 9th or something like that. It's alleviated trade tensions, boosted investor confidence, and made markets rebound back up. Look at this retracement, guys. Look at this. Very strange retracement candle. Look how big that candle wick is. Maybe I'm zoomed in too much, but yeah, so the European Union agreed to fast-track discussions with the U.S., focusing on sectors like semiconductors and automobiles, following that postponement and aiming to prevent further economic strain. We're going to be watching Japanese yields because of the carry trade dynamic here. U.S. tariffs threats. Views the U.S. tariff threats as significant risk to the economy, prompting emergency measures to stabilize energy and mitigate impacts. We had durable goods show up a little bit better than expected mostly this morning. Today we had PDD, miss EPS, AutoZone miss EPS, Bank of Nova Scotia, I think missed EPS as well, although some of them were mixed with revenue. So that's where we're at now. Like I said, maybe I'm zoomed in too much. I think gold, yeah, my Memorial Day was pretty good. Yeah, I'm seeing people talk about some penny stocks in play. Just be careful, guys. Like, I see SBET. You know, and like, you just got to be careful with some of this, man. It's really easy to try to find and isolate like the biggest moves in markets like this and try to act like somehow this is like edge driven. I think it's very difficult to make money in this, you know. And I think you could buy this and it can drop 100% on you, and you can lose whatever you stuck into it. So just be careful with stuff like this. I see some of the penny stock gurus trying to say, "Oh, look how big the edge is." Just be careful, bro. Not saying there's no edge, just saying be careful. We had Salesforce signing a definitive agreement to acquire Informatica, which is INFA. Alright, so look at us bounce right back up here. Very choppy. 15 minutes before the Case-Shiller data. I don't think this is going to move markets either, just to clarify, but we'll watch it regardless. Alright, so we're testing 275. Let's see if we hold. So I bought myself a, it's supposed to be like a Cat 8 Ethernet cord. It looks all nice and shiny. But I'll have to check. Cat 8 offers better bandwidth, up to 25 gigs or 40 gigs. Cat 7 is suitable for longer distances, up to 100 meters. is a good choice for residential and business. Wait, so if I'm running a longer cable, is it better that I have Cat 7, I'm guessing? For my hardware nerds out there, help me out. Gator jerky? Nah, bro, I'm not that... I mean, I'm from Louisiana, but, you know. Gator tastes good. It's not that good. It's not something I eat on a regular basis. I've had it before, though. It's alright. It's kind of, it's chewy. Easiest way to put it, it's chewy. Alright, so we're bouncing back up. We're over 275s now. Yeah, I mean, I've got a multi-gig internet connection. Last time I did a speed test, I was running at like 1.6 gigs. So I was running at basically 1600 megabits upload and download. So like my internet here is just like good enough to support this cable. I'm just wondering. Like we travel. If I'm running a longer term cable, if it's going to be better to be a Cat 7 or Cat 8. I'll bring both and try them out. I like Catfish. Hey, good luck, WoW. Cat 8 is not ideal. Okay, gotcha. I have to order a Cat 7. Alright, so we're rebounding back up. Again, we're very flat. In about 11 minutes, we have the Case-Shiller House Price Index, which is basically house prices and the change in house price value. Not really the biggest one. Like, the Case-Shiller measures the change in the selling price of single-family homes in a couple metro areas, or about 20 different metro areas. Higher is typically a little bit stronger for the economy, but it's not really going to be some big market mover most likely. I think the next big data we get is going to be Case-Shiller or the CB Consumer Confidence. I mean, we also have the Atlanta Fed GDP Now data dropping at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time today. So at 11:30 we got that, and again we'll see if that moves things too. Also, make sure you give me a follow on X, at Beginner Trades. We post a lot of this breaking news. So, at Beginner Trades on X.com. Great way to help support the channel. Honestly, it's been growing a lot. It's been fun to watch it grow. So, I kind of want to buy this pullback to 275 here. I'll try it with a small size. Very small. And then we'll add a couple to it. We're green on the day here. And I don't think this trade's going to really hurt that, but... I'm going to cut half of this there. I don't want to risk too much. Yeah, we're going to have to cut the other half. So we're still green on the day, by the way. You can see it at the top. Let me show you. And again, this is a challenge account. But that's a big drop here. We'll wait for it now. Look at that candle. Did some news come out? Let me see. U.S. Senator McCormick says Nippon Steel has agreed to invest $14 billion into new investments into U.S. Steel. Interesting. That's a big drop. I'll short this little pop-up if we can. We'll try to scale into it. This is a challenge account, so I could take a little bit more risk. Just to clarify, we'll trade our funded account closer to the open, but I want to short a bounce up to 275. See if we can catch it. All right, so there's 6 contracts that we have. All right, chair of Aramet and CEO of Umicore have said that a drive to develop an entirely autonomous European EV battery business would not work. In Financial Times post. There we go. That's better. Take a third of that off. Take another piece of that off. There we go. We'll add a little piece to this here. Take that off. Since we're at the bottom of the range, take that one off too. And then we'll cut the rest right there. Alright, so we jumped in short. Was able to ride it up a little bit. Or ride it down some here. Well, yeah, well, this isn't 100 M. I'm thinking about, like, here, how many? This is a 50 footer. This is a 50-foot cord. A 50-foot cord. Cat 8. Let me ask AI this. Alright, testing the bottom range now. Nvidia's still choppy sideways. Okay, so actually 50 foot should be fine. It says it's up to 98 feet. So we should be good, honestly. Good. Alright, so we'll keep this one. We don't even need to order. Alright, so we covered down here. We made a nice little green trade. Still waiting though. Again, we got the Case-Shiller at 9. They've got a Cajun restaurant. Yeah, I mean, people in Louisiana don't eat gator that often, though. Like, it's not like it's a common thing here. I mean, we probably eat it much more often than others, though. Like, it depends on what. If you go to a Cajun restaurant, sometimes they'll have, like, fried alligator. And you can eat fried alligator at a Cajun restaurant. Or, yeah, it just depends. Like, I used to go to the wildlife events with my dad a lot when I was young. They would give us like squirrel, rabbit, alligator there, but that's a different dynamic too. All right, so we just crack lows here, chat. So we're just cracking lows. We're starting to break down. We're at 21,250s, 21,250s. Yeah, I have fiber. It's not bad. It's not good, I would say. I'm not really a big fan of it. All right, we're still breaking down. We crack lows again. All right, since March, the 2-year economic growth expectations have declined at their fastest rate in 3 years. The 10-year yield has risen 40 basis points to 2.2%. Real note yield. In the past, rising GDP growth projections have caused an increase in yields to spike as the odds of the Fed raising rate increases. This time, the inverse relationship is likely related to bond investors' concerns about weak economics. If this continues, we could see the 10-year note yield approach 5%. We're at 4.47% right now, 4.47. Bond market's interesting. OPEC talks on, okay, so we did have some stuff just come out. On EU and U.S. talks, U.S. White House advisor Hassett says negotiations have been difficult due to there being so many nations which disagree on the priorities for talks, via CBS's Jacobs. So this news just came out. Again, regarding U.S. and Europe talks, White House advisor Hassett says negotiations have been difficult due to there being so many nations which disagree on the priorities for talks. Put this link up right here so you can see it. We got the Case-Shiller in 4 minutes. We'll see what that happens. But this probably negatively impacted markets. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes till Case-Shiller data. All right, so look at this rebound back up. We're still under 275s. 200 EMA is dipping down a little bit, but I'm just going to wait, I think. 2 minutes left for the Case-Shiller data. We'll cover it when it drops. I'm not sure if it's going to even move anything, but we'll see. We got CB consumer confidence at 10, so we're going to cover that also. All right, so we have some of China. We have China's premier speaking. He said China is willing to deepen regional integrated cooperation and improve trade and investment facilitation with Asian GCC countries. Since the beginning of this year, China's economy has continued to recover and improve. We are facing a rise of protectionism and unilateralism, and we must expand, opening up, and remove barriers. So that news just happened. All right, so here's the Case-Shiller data in 45 seconds, Chad. We got the Case-Shiller data in 45 seconds. We're going to cover it. Yeah, I mean, you must have a different service than mine, Jonathan, because my fiber has been very good and almost never struggles. All right, guys, Case-Shiller house price index expected at 4.5%. 4.5%. We'll see what it shows up as. Month over month, 0.1%. Year over year, 0.5 or 4.5%. It drops in 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so house price index showed up at 4.1%, lower than the 4.5% expected. Case-Shiller HPI showed up at 4.1% year over year versus 4.5% expected. Again, 4.1% year over year versus 4.5% expected. Again, Case-Shiller house price index year over year showed up at 4.1 versus 4.5% expected. What's the Vanguard real estate? It's VNQ, right? All right, so yeah, that's the data, 4.1%. Market hasn't really reacted as I said it would, or as I said it wouldn't. All right, Chad, less than 30 minutes until the market opens. We're going to sit around waiting to day trade. Yeah, but the Case-Shiller data showed up a little bit more negative than expected. 20-year should have been minus 0.1% versus positive 0.3% expected. Market's back up a little bit though, still very choppy and sideways. I think the market might be apprehensive waiting for Nvidia earnings, GDP data, PCE data, Fed minutes report all this week. So all right, so China's premier says that the scale of China's fiscal spending will reach a record high this year. They said we'll continue to increase intensity of counter-cyclical adjustments in according with changes in the environment. Do I want to buy this 275 level, or am I worried we're just going to trend sideways? I don't know. I'm kind of worried we're just going to trend sideways. I guess I could buy it and look for like a dip down to that 200 exponential, or up to that 200 EMA. Let me see. All right, we'll try it. Kind of back and forth, slightly green on the day, but not much. We'll add on a dip too. All right, so there we go. Okay, good. Take a piece off of that. Take another piece. Look at that spike. Go ahead and cut the rest up there. Just made 30 ticks very quickly. Very, very quickly. Got a nice little cushion into the open. That's good. Up to that 200 exponential. We got out pretty fast, but that's okay. Yeah, we got the Japanese bond auction this week. We got the Japanese rate decision next month. A lot of stuff going on. All right, so we had the ECB bond stuff going on. So ECB settled 268.5 billion euros corporate bond purchases. Yeah. Norwegian Parliament is going to reject calls for a blanket ban by the Wealth Fund on investing in firms in some certain territories. All right, guys, we got 25 minutes. We'll see if we get anything good leading into the open. All right, guys, so we are over the 200 exponential now. over the 200 EMA. Let's see if we hold, but we're getting up there. Still creeping up. Once we hit 300s, maybe. This has been a big historical resistance area. And there's a rejection. Yeah, so record high fiscal spending for China. 20 minutes until the market opens, though, chat. 20 minutes. Big range, but small trend. Or big range, but sideways trend, I should say. Starting to creep back up, testing that 300 level. Nvidia back over the 200 exponential and the volume weighted average price. Palantir is up there as well. We got bond yields sitting at about 4.47% this morning, 4.47%. Palantir is testing that 130 level. Bitcoin chat has surged just now. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin just had a huge influx. Let's see if there's any news related to this, but Bitcoin is popping up this morning right now. Huge candle. I'm trying to see if there's a reason for it, but Bitcoin just popped up. The DJT announces approximately $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal. Is what just happened. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure DJT just announced a. Yeah, that's what it. That's what this is. $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal. Yeah, Bitcoin is flying up. Bitcoin flying up on this news. Look at this. It's up to 11,000 for Bitcoin futures. And again, DJT announces an approximately $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal. They're going to issue and sell up to $1.5 billion in stock and $1 billion of 0% convertible senior secured notes. Bitcoin up pretty significantly here. Look at Bitcoin rising. Yeah, Bitcoin's popping up on this. Big news. Bitcoin likes it. All right, guys, so this is kind of, I don't know if this is dragging markets up, but you can see Nvidia up there. You can see Bitcoin making this big news. Or at least we got 20 minutes left until the market opens. And we got CB Consumer Confidence at 10. We're going to be day trading the market open like we always do, though. Yeah, I don't know why DJT is down, but I'm just covering the news, guys. Just covering the news as I do. Something happened with it, negatively reacted to it, though. Wow, look at that drop. All right, so we're testing this 300 level now over the 200 exponential. We got the 200 EMA right below us. Nvidia's starting to rise on this news. I don't know if it's this news, but Nvidia's rising up too. It's getting closer to 135s, which is the top of the range. We'll see if it holds. But Bitcoin broke recent highs again. I think this is highs of the day. Yeah, so look at Bitcoin over highs of the day. Bitcoin futures over 11,000, almost up to 12K, really, for Bitcoin future. Actually, I'm sorry, almost up to 11 once, I should say. Yeah, Indian foreign minister says FX reserves continue to provide a cushion against external shocks. So we are rejecting at this level that we've had 300 all day here. Still can't get over it. Still struggling to hold. We got the 200 exponential here, though. We could move back up. It doesn't mean anything yet, but we have short-term rejected at 300s here. We'll see if we pivot back up. Yeah, I mean, this news for crypto is pretty big. It's making Bitcoin break highs. See if we can get over that 300 level. Texas is likely to approve its Bitcoin strategic reserve, waiting on the governor's signature, and supposedly he has signaled support for it in the past. Yeah, DJT dropping pretty significantly here. It's all the way down to 23s. This news came out, it went up to 30. And now it's all the way back down to 24s. Look at Bitcoin still trying to get up there, though. Bitcoin's still rising. We got the NASDAQ testing that 21.3 level. FOMC just doesn't matter anymore. I mean, the FOMC matters. I think what influences the market changes regularly, right? So what moves the market is going to change week to week, month to month, year to year. We said this last week, but it's absolutely true. What moves markets changes. Sometimes, like CPI, it depends on what the market fears. Like sometimes CPI will move markets. Sometimes the Fed decision will move markets, especially if it's like a change from what it's been. So like if we've been pausing rates for a year, if we cut, that's going to move markets in one way or the other. Sometimes GDP data moves the market. Sometimes different catalysts will move the markets depending on what the market fears and wants in any given moment, and that can change. Recently, tariff news has been wildly influencing the market. So tariff stuff has kind of caused a lot of stuff to go on in markets recently. So the tariff news has been the biggest catalyst recently, of course. Like tariff news have propelled markets higher, have dropped markets lower, depending on what it is, have caused massive corrections and pullbacks in markets. And so it really depends on what's going on in any given moment in economics and markets. We saw a lot of markets that feared inflation, so CPI inflation data would influence and change the market. So it really just depends. All right, so we're now back over that 300 level. We're going to wait until the open to really get down with trading. We got 13 minutes left, 13 minutes. But we're waiting here, man. I'm not trying to take any crazy risks this morning. I think the market might be choppy today leading into the stuff that we got going on tomorrow, but I never freaking know, man. You never know. Market can do whatever it wants to do. But I need a haircut. I'm looking at my hair right now. I need a haircut for sure. But yeah, I don't know what the market's going to do. I have a thesis in which the market could be big range but choppy leading into FOMC minutes, leading into NVIDIA earnings, GDP, PCE data, Michigan data this week. But you never know, man. Market's there's always variance. So we could do a poll. Okay, so we got 1,200 votes. We could look at our poll options here. We got 1,200 votes. 57% say no, 42% say yes out of over 1,000 votes. We're going to do another poll. Are you bullish or bearish leading into the opening bell? So I had to mute it for just a second here. I want to check something. I have to sign in on a different thing. It's all right. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin up to pretty big numbers here. Look at the NASDAQ following. With crypto news maybe a little bit. I don't know. NVIDIA's starting to fall back or push back up here. We're back at the top of the range. Palantir heading back up. You can see Palantir up to 127.50s. The high of the day is at 127.90s, just under 128s. So let hair grow out for strength. I would shave my beard. I'm worried I'd lose my jiu-jitsu strength though. That's the problem. You know, I think a lot of the strength I have in jiu-jitsu has to do with the beard, but who knows, man. All right, yeah, we're going to day trade the opening bell live, so stick around. Opening bell's coming here. We got 10 minutes. NASDAQ's pushing up. We're at 21.3s. Again, we are day trading on Top Steps funded account program today. If you want to learn to day trade, this is the best way to do it. Structured environment. If you fail, you lose $50 for the base one. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K in profit prior to that split. Kick it in. It's the best of both worlds. Similar split to funding your own account. Limited risk. And they pay out hundreds of millions. They fund thousands. In the futures market, the patterns are incredibly similar to day trading stocks. No PDT rule. Get you around the PDT rule. You don't have to risk 5, 10, 20, 30 grand like you do in other markets. It just makes sense. And most pro day traders trade futures, and learning to day trade in this structured environment makes sense. And if you're good enough to pass it, you can withdraw and fund your own account if you can build up enough profit. So it just makes sense to try it out. Again, I'll put the link up. Remember, though, not an investment professional. I can't guarantee a thing. Confirm everything with them. Understand CFTC 4.41. Sometimes I trade and lose off stream. You might not see it. I don't even claim to be a good trader. Don't copy me. NASDAQ's pushing up. Link is in the chat right there if you want to check it out. We just put it out in chat. Check it out. NASDAQ is over 310s here, so we are starting to rebound back up. You think the market's following Bitcoin and the Bitcoin-related news, chat? What do you guys think? Is this Bitcoin? Actually, I have an emoji that's beardless John. Look, here's me without a beard. I got one somewhere. Yeah, I got one somewhere. I have to find it. Who knows how long it would take to find it. All right, guys. So all right, so we got a dip to the 300 level. I kind of want to attack this. I don't know. Huh. I kind of want to attack it. Yeah, we got the Fed minutes report tomorrow, too, so just be ready, man. We got a whole bunch of stuff. I would buy it. We're just too close to the opening bell. Maybe I should have. Look at that bounce. Maybe I should have bought it. That bounce looks solid. So we got right back up to 310s. I don't know what we're going to do here at 310s. It doesn't look terrible. Do I want to rebuy this dip at 300s? I kind of do, man. I think I'll wait a bit. I do kind of want to attack this dip. Supposed to be able to take my picture. There it goes. Look at this dip here. Let's see if there's some news related to this dip. Hold on. Let me track this. So Fed's Barkin is on TV right now. He is on BBTV, Bloomberg TV. I'm wondering if this is what's doing it. Barkin is on Bloomberg TV right now. Is he saying something? Hold on. I don't know. Maybe we're just close to the... Yeah, dude. I think maybe he's saying something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if we get any update. But that's a big red candle coming through here. NVIDIA just dipped down too here. We got 4 minutes into the opening bell, guys. So subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Still waiting. I'm not going to mess with anything. We're way too close to the opening bell. What was that? Yeah, we're way too close to the opening bell. We got to bounce up to that 200 exponential, though. About 3.5 minutes left, chat. So the president said, quote, "I was extremely satisfied with the 50% tariff allotment on the European Union, especially since they were, quote, slow walking, to put it mildly, our negotiations with them." So this is what's dragging markets right now, is the president said, "I was extremely satisfied with 50% tariff allotment on the European Union, especially since they were slow walking, to put it mildly, our negotiations with them," end quote. That is what dragged markets. Yeah, so that is what tanked markets here. Should I shave my beard? Carol tells me I should. Look at the NASDAQ coming down a little bit. We're at 284s, 283s. So I guess this is making markets negatively react here after the president came out saying. So basically, it's seeing, is he less friendly with the European Union? I thought we had good news come out for it. It's looking like he's a little less friendly with them now, leading into the opening bell, which is kind of a sketchy market dynamic here. All right, so look at us come down here. So we're testing this 255 level now. Let's watch 250s. Here's 250s. NASDAQ's tumbling down after this news. It's maybe looking like he's less friendly with the European Union, is what I'm guessing here. Yeah, so he said he was extremely satisfied with 50% tariff allotment. This is the full quote here, just to clarify. He said, quote, "I was extremely satisfied with the 50% tariff allotment on the European Union, especially since they were slow walking, to put it mildly, our negotiations with them. Remember, I am empowered to set a deal for trade in the U.S. if we are unable to make a deal or are treated unfairly. I have just been informed that the EU has called to quickly establish meeting dates. This is a positive event, and I hope that they will finally, like my same demand to China, open up the European nations for trade with the U.S. They will both be very happy and successful if they do," end quote. So that is the president's quote, which is dragging markets as we speak. It's dragging markets down. And that is why markets are coming down a little bit. Basically, some satisfying posts about the 50% tariffs. So this is what's going down right now. We got 40 seconds left until the market opens, chat. 40 seconds left. All right, 35 seconds left. Let's see if the market... All right, guys, 15 seconds. 15 seconds into the opening bell. Sheesh, man. Y'all be careful. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And here's the bell. All right, there's the market open. NASDAQ is falling down a little bit. Just cracked the lows of the day right at the opening bell. It might retrace back up, though. We'll see. NVIDIA did bounce a little bit at 134s, and there's the NASDAQ popping right back up. We got Palantir, a little bit of a doji looking candle right now. Indecision as we speak here. Waiting. We're going to see what we do with the opening bell, but we're starting to head up a little bit here, chat. NVIDIA has bounced pretty strong. We're right at the bottom of the range here, and I do think we might chop today. But who knows, man. We got CP consumer confidence at 10. Look at that candle. The big green candle showing up. Palantir up to almost 127.50s. NVIDIA all the way up to almost 135s this morning. NVIDIA earnings tomorrow, Fed minutes tomorrow, GDP Thursday, PCE Friday, Michigan data Friday. So, gold. Bond yields are down a little bit. Look, here's me without a beard. Should I shave my beard? I'm waiting 5 minutes until the opening bell passes. Should I shave my beard? Chat, let me know. Should I? I don't know yet. I think I get power from the beard. I'm kind of superstitious about it, if I'm being honest. All right, market's starting to turn down. We're at 260s. NVIDIA down to 133.60s. Palantir at 128s. NASDAQ at 21.250s. Look at this turn in NVIDIA. NVIDIA has dumped down, guys. Wow, look at this drop. We just broke lows of the day again. I think they're lows of the day. Maybe not lows of the day. Hold on. No, because we pushed up so early this morning. It's still not technically lows of the day, but it's basically lows of market hours. And now we're rebounding back up. Little whippy here. I kind of want to short this. Let's try it. Let me see. How long are we since the opening bell? We're 2.5 minutes. It's a big retracement back up, though. I don't know. All right, look at that retracement. I should have shorted it here, too. I should have shorted it. I don't know. Here's an older, like, here, I got another pic. Like, look, here's me without the beard. I'm thinking about shaving it. That's why I'm asking you guys. Might as well get the internet's opinion here. Look at me. Look at young John, young Squire. All right, guys. NASDAQ is breaking down here. We're testing the bottom of that low range. I don't know what we should do here. I want to short it, but I think that's almost too obvious, and maybe we're going to bounce back. So I'm going to let our opening range play out first here. I'm watching NVIDIA too. NVIDIA is what's driving some of this as well, obviously, because it moves markets right now ahead of NVIDIA earnings. So let your wife decide. Yeah, I mean, she matters more than my internet friends over here on YouTube, but still. All right, so we're starting to bounce back. Let's see if we crack lows again here. I wanted to short it, but I'm also nervous about a bounce back, and we're kind of too close to the opening bell for me to mess with this here. Try just a mustache. Yeah. My water bill's paid. That's all I know, man. I'm not really happy about it, though. All right, so look, we just cracked lows again. I'm waiting here. I'm going to let some stuff play out first. I don't want to jump in too early after the opening bell, but look at that drop. I should have shorted. That's all right. We're green on the day, but I missed out on a little bit here, but that's all right. All right, so Barkin says data shows economy on same trajectory, low unemployment and inflation moving towards target. So he's saying good things, Barkin. Tom Barkin, Fed member. I'm a little concerned here. I want to watch NVIDIA. NVIDIA still looks weak, though. It rejected at 134 just now, and now the market's coming down some here. All right, look at this low break here, chat. We're down to 21 twos. Kind of sketchy. We got CB consumer confidence in 25 minutes. Do I want to buy this up? Kind of. You know what? We'll try it. It's risky move. All right, so we bought one contract here. We immediately got green from it, but now NVIDIA's starting to head back down. We can hold it break even now, or close to it. There's a risk that we're just going to keep cracking low, so I'm going to get out. We're still very green on the day. We'll try to trade our funded account a little bit more as well here. So I'm going to switch to our actual funded account so we can trade that thing. We'll see what we're going to do on the rest of this. Very volatile price action here. Did the music stop? This is not a margin call quote, by the way. Hold on, let me find. I gotta find the music now. Where did I do with the music? Market just snatched down. I'm trying to find the music. Hold on, where'd it go? That's not the music. No. Here it is. All right. Core weave is pumping. We're down a lot. I'm just kind of waiting here. Look at Palantir dip and look at Nvidia come down. So Nvidia's still down a pretty big amount here. We had durable goods. All right, so we switched to this account. We got a rebound on Nvidia. Are we gonna keep down here though? I kind of want to short this. I'm gonna let it pop up a little bit more first. Nah, should have shorted it. That's all right. Yeah, Bitcoin's been flying up. I mean, most of the morning on the yields are spiking up though. Bitcoin felt like has given back about 50% of the gains that it made. GameStop is up big, of course. Yeah, we got CB consumer confidence data going live too, so stick around. Still wondering if I should short this. All right, we'll try it. All right, we're gonna short here and then maybe add some to this position. Take 2 contracts first, see if we can maybe add to it if it retraces back. There we go. Take half off there. Get out the rest down there before it pushes back up. All right, so we're honestly up really nicely here. That short worked beautifully at 250s. Market will bounce. Maybe. A little whippy though. Nvidia's starting to push back over the VWAP. That's an optimistic sign. So I'm waiting here. Yeah, so we got CB consumer confidence data that we're going to be covering here. All right, so we did come back down here. Look at NVIDIA reject right at 134. So we did push right back down. All right, now we're right back up. Do I want to reshort this? Kind of. We'll try it. One contract, though. We're going to start small and then add to it if we're right. I don't know if this is enough to add to it yet. I'll just wait. Small, basically flat trade right now. We'll give it a second, though. See if it gets bought up here, shorts down. See if it decreases on this candle. It's starting to creep up. We're gonna have to cut it. Still very green since the opening, but I still think this might work too. But 15 minutes. Japan market yen carrier trade is still unfolding. Yeah, for sure. 6.3 trillion in stimulus. Yeah, 60% said bullish, 27% said bearish. It's still early though. Look at Nvidia though. Here's the thing, right? Like, look at Nvidia. Nvidia is very stagnant, very choppy, very boring, not really doing anything. So is Palantir and most modern tech stocks. Like, we're down a little bit, but not a lot. All right, I'll try shorting in this again. I'll add. See if we come back down quickly. Okay, we're back to kind of flat. There we go. I'm going to take half off, or a third off of this, just to protect the trade if it retraces back up. It looks like that was the right decision. We'll give it a second now, though. Yeah. All right, so it looks like that was the right move. It might come back down, but we're pretty much flat on the. We're green on the day, by the way. We're up about $100, but still, maybe I should have waited to 250 to short, but that's all right. I just saw some strength there, and we'll switch to our funded account here. Let's see if we get anything good. A lot of it's going to depend on NVIDIA here, though. It really is. So, like, NVIDIA, high mover. NVIDIA's trying. We didn't have job openings. We have the JOLTS report next week, I think. A lot of this is dependent on NVIDIA, but we'll see if NVIDIA can hold or what happens here. Still pretty much in an opening range is what we're in. We're seeing some upward push though and some stuff. climbing up higher. Nvidia getting over the VWAP here, so we do have Nvidia rising up. Looks strong. Let's see if we hit this 7.5 level and come back down, or what happens here. We're right there at 7.5. CB consumer confidence in 12 minutes, chat. 12 minutes. See what happens. We've kind of rebounded a lot back up, though. Nvidia looks like it's testing some big levels. Hmm. 200 EMAs right there. We got to fight over it, though. Palantir's right there, too. So look at that rejection right there at 275. It's very flat. We might buy 250 if we get down there, though, but I'm also seeing some negative signs too. It just depends on what happens here. I'll try to jump in small. There we go. So in our other account, we're up over 2. Here's that 275 level. Let me see if I want to buy this dip. One micro contract here. See if it holds. There we go. I'm going to immediately cut it just because we got to bounce exactly at that 250 level that we wanted. We got 10 minutes left before CB consumer confidence. Yeah, my whole family hates my new ring, my new notification sound. They literally hate it. 9 minutes left. Look at this. Look at this bounce though, right at 250s. Wow. All right, guys, so we're rejecting at the 200 exponential. Big day Friday, UK inflation data. Yeah. Again, we got CB consumer confidence in 8 minutes. The expected number for CB consumer confidence today is 87.1. 87.1. CB consumer confidence measures the level, obviously, that confidence or that consumers have in the economy. When they're optimistic, they spend more. When they're less optimistic, they spend less. And so if you're worried about inflation, you kind of want lower levels here. If you want rate cuts, you kind of want a lower consumer confidence report. If you're worried about economic weakness, obviously you want a stronger report here, but that's kind of the name of this report is all right, so we just took 2 contracts here. We'll see if we reject. I didn't. There we go. We'll take half off there, lock that in, cut the rest down here, lock that in too. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and short this with small size in my challenge account that we're up hundreds on the day. I want to start small here just because if this doesn't work, number one, I'm going to have to sell this before the data comes out in 7 minutes. So I want to start small, 2 micro contracts here. But I also want to give it a chance to work a little bit before the data comes out. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and lock in a third of it just to protect. So if it turns, then we'll still be okay. And I want to give this one a second and let it work a little bit longer. I think it looks weak here, especially at the 200 EMA, but you never know, and it could just pop right back up. And so if we start to get too strong, we will cut it. And but hopefully we won't get to that point. Hopefully it just keeps breaking down, looking weak, fills this wick on the downside. There we go. All right, I'm going to take another piece of this off just because it's whippy. And looks good. We'll add a piece of this right at the bottom. Take another piece off down there and then capitalize on that. So just made about 40 or 50 bucks from that trade. It's a very quick short-term trade. We're about 5 minutes into the opening bell and we're green on, you know, all the accounts we've traded on today, so that's good. Trying to just judge short-term momentum here. Again, CB consumer confidence data in 5 minutes here, chat. 5 minutes. You guys red or green so far today? Again, we got NVIDIA earnings later as well. Okay, let me make sure this works. All right, chat, we got 4 minutes left. Open this a different way. There we go. All right, so we're starting to head back up. We're over the 200 exponential. We got 21 threes here. All right, so we're still slightly higher. We have 3 minutes left. Core Weave is running big. What's the symbol? Is it what was the Core Weave symbol? All right, so we're starting to push back up here at 21,288. So we got durable goods in sorry, I'm kind of reading something else in the background. CRWW is the name of CoreWeave. Yeah, I'm saying WV. Yeah, look at CRWV. It's up there too. All right, guys, look, we got 1 minute left until CB consumer confidence data. 1 minute left. All right, so we're up to almost 300s here, 300s. All right, guys, 10 seconds. Let's see what the data shows up for CB consumer confidence. Expected at 87.1, 87.1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the report, CB consumer confidence data. All right, we initially got a very positive reaction here. 98. It showed up at 98, stronger than expected. 98 versus 87.1. 98 versus 87.1. All right, this is making the market react positively here. Look at that pop up here. 98 versus 87.1. Look at that move up for CB consumer confidence. We honestly did get a pretty strong move from this. 98 versus 87.1. 98 versus 87.1. All right, guys. So, yeah, CB consumer confidence. Jolting markets higher here. Jolting markets higher. Interesting. All right, guys. So, yeah, the NASDAQ is liking the CB consumer confidence report. It's showing a stronger economy than expected, or at least it's showing stronger confidence in the economy than expected. NVIDIA earnings are tomorrow. Guys, tomorrow is a massive day. We got the Fed minutes report. We got NVIDIA earnings. We've got, let me see if we got anything else in the morning. So in the morning, we have Kashkari speaking early. So we got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. Thursday, we got GDP. Friday, we have PCE inflation data. And so pretty big report. We'll see what happens here, chat. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Hey, I love you all. Have a great day. Markets liking the CB consumer confidence. And yeah, y'all be safe in the markets. Again, if you want to help support the channel, we're green on everything. We're green on Top Step, about $300, a little bit under that actually, but still. No PDT rule on futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. This is Top Step X's dashboard here. Zero commission on Top Step X. No PDT rule. You can day trade all these indexes. Very similar to day trading stocks. No PDT restrictions. And Top Step gives you a 50K demo. Test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. And the base one's $50 a month. It's not the end of the world if you lose. A great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose money, right? Most day traders lose money. A beautiful way to learn how to day trade. And if you're good enough to pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 100K funded account, 150K funded account, depending on which one you choose. With a 90% split, you get to keep your first 10K. Very similar to funding your own account. If you want to check it out, great way to help support the channel here. There's the link. Tomorrow, guys, one of the single biggest days in finance is tomorrow. One of the single biggest days in finance. Massive day for markets, chat. Massive day for markets. We got NVIDIA earnings. Understand all this stuff on screen. We got NVIDIA earnings. We have Fed minutes report. We have more coming out for the rest of this week. So just be ready. Be careful. Markets are flying up right now. Look at this move up to almost 350s in markets right now. So it looks good. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early. Have a great day, guys.